God bless you. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday, February 5th, 2019. Here at the Temple of Clarity in Vista, California for the meditation. It's a short meditation. And we have been enjoying some rain and some beautiful sunsets, some golden sunsets. So I believe we will have a golden meditation tonight. Let's rise and light the candle and we'll start. In the name of the Christ, in the name of all that is high and holy and pure, clear, we connect now. Father, Mother, God, Elohim, 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 El Shaddai, Elohim, 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 El Shaddai, Elohim, 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 Spirit of the living God, our Father, Mother. Let there be an opening. Let heaven come to earth. Let the masters and the angels and the Buddhas, the saints robed in white, come into this temple. Sit with us, pray with us, emanate the light, magnify, glorify, raise this earth to a new, higher, more lovely, more beautiful understanding of God herself. So this is a short meditation. For those of you at home, I recommend that you place your God consciousness over here through the internet, over the Temple of Clarity. In a short meditation, Yogananda said, is preferable. But you have to really focus on what you're doing. Be clear, be present, remain still. By stopping the body from moving, you can control the mind from thinking. By having a clear mind, a calm, peaceful mind without thought, there is the door. There, the masters and the angels speak. There, you will see face to face the living God. So during this short meditation, remember that Remember that. And with your will and determination, this is your day. This is your moment where God, where the Holy Spirit, where you see something, the proof you've been praying for, the answer. softly, gently. Return home. Yet well aware of your God presence. Notice that surrounding you is an energy field of peace. An energy field of stillness. An energy field of pure spirit that you magnetized, that you co-created and anchored here on earth in the physical. This bubble of energy. Notice how clear everything is. How alive, how wonderful and beautiful this life is. This moment is. This moment composed of God, suchness, living, moving, blessing and healing all around you. This energy knows your name, knows your soul, knows you before you were even born. Let's take a moment now and send this love light to our friends and family. Any situation that is going on in your life, people that you care for, people who need help, even people who have disagreed or oppose you. Send them this energy. Send them these angels. Send them pure spirit. And let it go. And let God move and do the miracles, the work that Spirit does. And when you're ready, come back. And open your eyes. I'll read something from Light on the Path, Inspiration for Each Day of the Year. I have a few copies on the table for sale and some other books from the Heart Center Movement by David Christopher Lewis. So, February 5th. Let's see what happens today. It's a very short chapter. Spontaneity, which is one of the virtues and essences of the Holy Spirit, brings about the creative flair that the joyful ones will understand and resonate with. Too much reciting of scriptures or words, even prayers, does not suffice for those who have the eternal song of spirit resonating within them already. Create the space for new possibilities and discussions of what is important in the present moment of beingness upon the earth. The challenges of the hour beset even the brightest of souls who are sent to this world to offer their hearts towards its evolutionary victory in the light. Spontaneity. That's interesting because I was thinking earlier how when walking or hiking, I try to be led by the Spirit and to allow these different guidances through and be spontaneous in one way, to allow a set plan to change as the angels and the masters bring these changes to the hike, to our life, to any situation, even a prayer. Spontaneity is really one of the virtues of the Holy Spirit. I didn't understand that, but I think it makes sense that when we let go of the mind and we let go of what any constructs of thoughts or beliefs, and we allow the Spirit to flow and move in time and space, beautiful, wondrous things just happen. Just amazing synchronicities. Just yesterday, I wanted to go for a walk in the rain. I put my rain pants on and a rain jacket and went down for the sunset. And I brought my camera. And I was walking along the beach, and the sunset, all of a sudden, the clouds just cleared a little bit. And the golden sun orb the most golden light just started to come like a river just towards me. As the clouds, I could see it coming. And it was me and 2 seagulls. Pretty much empty. I caught it on film, and I looked at it afterwards, and I was amazed that the camera was able to pick up that golden light the way it did. And I think about it, and I think, if I wasn't attuned to the promptings of Spirit that told me to go see this, experience that, feel this sunset, I would have missed that opportunity. And when it happened, I was surprised to see the sunset on a rainy, stormy day, and to see the sun come out of the clouds and that golden river of liquid love pouring from the sun, reflecting on the ocean, dancing in the waves, came right towards me. Now the sun and the rain hit the camera in a certain way where the lens of the camera had a drop of water on it. And when the sun came through and that clear light hit the lens of the camera, a whole shape started to appear. It was like 2 suns, and then it was shaping itself into a spirit reflection that was coming through from Source as a living miracle. So let's all take that and be spontaneous. God every day wants to show us something about how beautiful this world is, how much love and light this world has. Go outside or read this book or listen to this music. It's amazing and it's wondrous how these inner thoughts from the heaven worlds can filter down into our brains. And I can think of many times when I was out in nature mostly, where these wonderful serendipitous things happen just because we were spontaneous. We took a turn that led to a river that had a view, and there Spirit was waiting. Another little story, when Eva and I were in Yosemite, and we went for a little walk in the morning, and the sun, it was, Yosemite Valley, it's a very deep valley, and the sun comes up, but it doesn't come over the valley that much until later. But when the sun finally started to come up towards the top of the mountain, and we were at the bottom of the valley, and I looked up and I grabbed my cell phone, because at that moment the magic started to happen. And I didn't know why I was taking the picture until I looked at it. And this sun angel, it looks like, if you haven't seen the picture, I'll have to pull it up. It looks like this head of the sun, and then the streams of light took a body, and it has a foot, and it was touching the river. And I called it the Yosemite angel picture. But we know angels are composed of pure light. And if we would have not been out walking, I would have missed that manifestation when it happened right there. So that angel was probably about 4,000 feet tall. And had the yellow sun and arms that were rays of light, and had clothes that were almost transparent, but you can tell it was a light being. So if anybody wants to talk about something about spontaneity, let's do some sharing. And can you remember a time where you trusted your inner guide and moved towards what Spirit was bringing to you? Ava, did you ever do anything spontaneous? No? I think you have. Ali Sheva? Monica?
I'm sure I had to, but I can't remember exactly details to tell.
Well, it's something to meditate on being spontaneous. I think I'll read that one more time. It's only a paragraph. Spontaneity, which is one of the virtues and essences of the Holy Spirit, brings about the creative flair that the joyful ones will understand and resonate with. Too much recitation of scriptures or words, even of prayers, does not suffice for those who have the eternal song of Spirit resonating within them already. Create the space for new possibilities and discussions of what is important in the present moment of beingness upon this earth, the challenges of the hour that beset even the brightest of souls who are sent to this world to offer their hearts towards its evolutionary victory in light. That also speaks about problem solving, too, in a new way. When there are problems on earth, if we are spontaneous with the solutions, Spirit and Source can bring new possibilities, new answers, look at it from another angle. So that's something also that is that paragraph speaks to for February 5th. Because light workers are not just here for themselves. We are not here for ourselves. Most of us have volunteered to come to this planet to help raise the vibration of this planet, bring in the highest truth, the purest love, the greatest wisdom, the divine virtues of the Christ and the Buddhas and of Spirit. So spontaneousness must be a key to solutions that we should all be exploring.
I have one little thing to say. Good. I remember one too. So I'm not going to talk about a time when I was spontaneous, but what I also heard there was talking about too much recitation of rote things and not being creative. And I know when I first reopened, I was saying, because I'm from the Jewish faith, I was saying the Shema, and I would say it every night before I went to bed, and at other times, as a prayer. And my guide Yeshua came to me and he said, do me a favor. He said, stop saying that prayer. Because it is recitation, a rote recitation. He said, I answer all prayers, but I want them to come from your heart. So what you are feeling. I don't want to hear the prayers that have been written down, because they're just said because they're said, not because they're felt. So that is my 2 cents on this.
Yeah, those are like the most powerful prayers when they come from your heart. And those are the prayers that shake the universe. Those are the prayers that every angel, every master, every saint in heaven hears echoing across. And some of the prayers that we do that I like the rosary and some of the decrees and rhyming ones, I too, have to energize those prayers with my heart, my mind, and my soul. And let me set up this mic. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Thank you, Dennis. And what our friend here shared reminded me of a story of spontaneity. So she talked about the Shema, which is the most revered prayer in Judaism. And I studied in yeshiva in Jerusalem. And we were studying the Shema. And the Shema is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Thou shalt love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your might. And it goes on, and you shall put these as a sign on your doorpost. And so it's a very revered prayer amongst the devout. It is said first thing in the morning as you rise, last thing on your lips before you go to sleep, and the last thing on your lips before you die. And so I had this wonderful teacher, and this is his story of spontaneity, actually. And this teacher was an elder with a big gray beard, and he was British. And he had served in World War I. And when he served, there was still hand-to-hand combat. And so he was in the middle of combat with a German soldier, and they both had knives. And everybody was on the battlefield fighting each other. And so they were in the middle of this fight, and they both blurted out the Shema at the same time. So this wonderful prayer, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. And when they both heard it, they dropped their knives and they could not battle anymore. And they realized they were brothers, and they hugged. And they put down their weapons and they refused to fight anymore. And that's always been such a powerful story for me, a story of spontaneity, but a story of unity, how something so simple like that could unify people and make them realize that we are all one. And no matter what country we're from, no matter what side we're on, we're still all one.
Children of God. Yeah, and we get involved in these countries and politics and other people's agendas, whatever Hitler's agenda was, and some people get trapped in those. They can't free themselves. But what really makes us children of God, sons and daughters of God, is our Father. There's no country, it's the universe. We're all from the one.
We need a universal prayer.
Yeah. Eva and I have been watching the series AD. Have anybody seen that? And the special effects are amazing. The costumes are like the best I've ever seen. It's the best kind of like biblical thing. The priests, and the Temple Mount and Jerusalem and everything was just so realistic. And the drama between Rome with Pontius Pilate and what Caesar wanted him to do with the country at that time, and then how the priests were trying to, what's the word, appease, the Pilate, and then they were trying to also manipulate Pilate to kill Jesus for him speaking out in a radical way about a new idea that has never been talked about, wasn't in their books, so they were not happy about it. But anyway, so there's all this drama, but what was common in all of them, the ones that were sucked into other people's agendas, like Pontius Pilate was trying to work for Caesar, who was nothing but, egotistical maniac who thought he was God. And they forgot the brotherhood, the sisterhood, the oneness, that we all share a unique perspective of God. Jesus had his perspective, the clearest, newest. Pontius Pilate's wife was a visionary. She would have dreams, and she knew that, this was a holy man. And she told, in the series anyways, she told the story about don't hurt him, and but for political reasons, Pontius Pilate says, well, we need to. How cheap life was back then. How easily they sentenced somebody to death and crucified them in the worst horrible way. Thank goodness we live in, these days. And then also the ones who were representing God back then, the chief priest of the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, because something didn't fit in his orthodoxy, he couldn't allow that. He felt threatened. The priesthood was threatened. Everything was threatened. And this fear ran crazy in the minds of the priests of the Sanhedrin. Don't allow any new thought. Stick to the basics. So, anyways, it's something for us to consider. Spontaneity, the brotherhood, the universality of all this. Any doctrine and dogma or political idea, or philosophy that is fear-based, eventually will want to control people, and eventually will want to kill people to keep it going. And I pray, have learned that lesson of history, and that example of the German and what country was your British soldiers, and they saw the prayer, heard the prayer that each one was saying. What a special moment that was. Somebody had to be spontaneous enough to just say, God help me, I'm going to do this prayer out loud.
I might die in this next moment. So
Right.
This has to be the last thing on my lips.
Wow. Ellie, what was that song that you started the service with last Thursday? That you sang a beautiful song.
It's called Shalom Aleichem. It's a song of bringing in the angels.
Bringing in the angels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lori and Monica missed it.
They did. I'm sure Lori's heard it many times.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. We are going to turn off the broadcast and just have some fellowship time here. Tomorrow, let's start the day with something spontaneous, something new, something fresh, something divinely inspired, something from your own heart that brings the light and spirit into manifestation here. God bless you, and we will see you tomorrow night at 7:30 for the Mother Mary Rosary. Bye for now.